Hi everyone, I'm gonna do something very special today. I will talk to you in English because I want to show you all my pedalboard, all my reflection behind the harp amplification. I've started to reach what I was looking for since years. I will show you everything. In case tomorrow I have an accident, that's gonna be useful for all of you. I did 3 videos already, but it's in French, it's in the PALF, PALF, pédale à la française, and I'm explaining my microphone, my pedal, my routings, and I saw in the comment that a lot of people were talking also about Emily Hopkins. And Emily Hopkins, because she does that since years, so what have I to bring to you today which gonna be different from what she's doing? She definitely bring pedals. She explains them in a very, very lovely way. She goes in all the features, so she's really remarkable for that. And I'm not gonna be in front of her fighting against that, because what she does is unique, and thanks to her and thanks for all she brings to the community. She plays a harp, but what kind of harp does she play? It's a pedal harp or a lever harp, but both these harps use piezo microphone, which is in the bottom of each strings. And since 20 years, I hate piezo. For most of the people, piezo is a normal sound, so I'm not going to say it's wrong. It's fine, everybody plays in the world on piezo harp, but I don't like it myself, because piezo behave like a very compressed signal, very few low hand, very few high hands, and I like to have a hi-fi approach. So the first thing is I try to find the right mic, because I wanted to have an augmented harp and not just an electric harp. I wanted to keep something as close as the harp sound that I have on my ears just playing the harp. So the first thing is my harp. So this harp is an Excalibur. Excalibur has been made by Camac in France, and this one is the harp they made for me, because I met them and I say I'm looking for a harp, but I can't find the right harp in your harps. And okay, they say, okay, François, we will do one for you. And they did it. I wanted a big harp, like big lever harp, with a big space in between the pegs and the levers. I wanted to have a huge sound. I didn't care about the weight of the harp, the height. I wanted a harp that where I could play with my classical technique. That means I could play piano or forte, no saturation in the sound. First is the harp, second is the mic. So I met Ischell Microphone. He's a guy based in Nantes, in France, and he did that mic which behaves like a piezo. That means you can have very loud speakers. You can play in front of a loudspeaker with no feedback problem, but also that really preserves the sound. And particularly this last year, he did some improvement with he's been redoing electronic card. He have reached this point where, for me, that's the best mic for harp that preserves low hand and high hands. Before it was the best, but there was nothing comparable. Now it's been really jumping with the C3 mic and the new electronic. And this new electronic is divided in 3: transformer, transistor, and IZ. Transformer, that's the one I have. I have 2 mics on this one. I have the IZ version and the transformer version. The transformer version is, for me, the beautifulest, because you have that kind of the color, lamp color. It's really tight, it's a little compressed, and you have that low mids that are just so thick and beautiful. I will show you in a minute. And then you have the IZ version. You have like the signal is high impedance. You can go in pedals like a guitar player. Before he had this mic, I was using a Zorg, Z-O-R-G, Blow. That's the name of the pedal, or the Blow Blow Blow, which is a stereo impedance matcher. And that goes very well with also a preamp inside. So that's the pedal I was using before. That was good for me because I could go from my low Z microphone Ischell, the one I had before, straight into the pedal in a loop, and then you had an XLR out. I let you check on the internet. Now I have these two mics. That two mics, why two? First, where is the position? Because I have a very strong way of playing. The transformer one is just on the side of the harp. But I do it because I have a classical training and I'm playing very loud. So the microphone sometimes have saturation. It's also because of my playing. And the other one, it's on the soundboard, but not too close to the string. It's really far away. The first one is for me the wet signal. So it goes from XLR in one point straight into the sound card. That's my XLR dry signal. I don't change anything. It's flat, straight on. And the other one goes into volume pedal. So for now, I will put the volume down and you will just listen to the sound of the harp. There is no other mic. It's only the Transformer C3 mic from Ischell. So that's the sound of the harp. Check because I can't hear what I'm doing. Okay. That's really in the harp the most difficult part to have it right. And here it's really warm, tight. I just love it. Hear how deep is the bass here, and it's very soft on top. If you go for the transistor version, it's exactly Transformer. It's like a K84 Newman, so it's really it's changing the sound in a beautiful way. The transistor one is closer to the Schoeps microphone. That means it's really cutting. It goes, you get everything. It could be a little hard depending on the way you play the top strings, but it's really transparent. If you're looking for transparency, go for the C3 transistor. If you're looking for what you've been hearing, go for the transformer. So after that, now you can see my 4 pedals. The first one is for the volume, which is how I feed the high Z into all my pedals. So what I'm gonna do now, I put the volume, everything is down, so that means what you listen first, my signal goes straight into a boost. And this boost is from a French company, Dolmen Effect, and it's a dual boost. So now what you have is this boost that goes into a splitter, and the splitter goes to the super octave. Without the boost, some of my pedals still doesn't behave properly. So that's for this reason the IZ version is really good. But for me to be totally acceptable, you need to go through a boost that really brings you like a 15 dBs extra. Because of the fact that my sound, the wet sound, is totally transparent, no noise, and that I bring the other effect on top of it. It doesn't matter if I bring some noise and signal and noise floor. my noise floor is very bad, but I don't care. So that boost, it's like definitely 15 to 20 dBs extra, plus a lot of low and high with Germanium and low frequency with Benson Ecorec type preamp. Then my Shushen, my boost goes into a split, and then I split my signal in 1, 2, 3, 4, which is totally crazy, but that's the way I do it. Normally I shouldn't go through the tuner, but anyway. This octave OC3 from Boss is amazing. Why? Because you have the selector that can give you a range. I'll show you what I do. Here I have the octave on my low C. If I go down, I have no more octave. So I can definitely decide that only my metal string will bring the extra octave. That's a game changer for me. So I can play, I love to play, it's sometimes always on. The only things I'm changing is the range button, because sometimes if you're in G major, it's good to have it only on the G and not on the C, because if I do this chord, G major, and you have this, it's a bit muddy. So I just prefer to put only on the G, and then you have a right effect. That means the octave starts on the low G, and then you have the normal B and normal D, and that's really fat. If I do it, and that's a bit messy if I include the B. So it really depends of the tonality. Okay, for now we're gonna do that. There is a cable that buzz inside, so I should tape it. So that's the octave. It's nearly always on. I love it because what I wanted is to have not one harp but 3 or 4 instruments, and I really do have it. I have a bass plus a harp. And another thing to say is you really have to be able to develop the left hand technique, which is damping the strings maximum as you can every time you change a chord. For example, without damping, changing, you get clarity every time you damp the low strings and you have an harmony change. And it's the same if you do a bass. So that's my octave. Then the signal goes into a delay chain, so it's out of here. It goes into my second pedal, and this second pedal allows me to control when I want delay to goes on top of my melody. I will do something like that. I was a bit surprised because there was not that much signal, because just after that I have a low pass filter that allows me this. I did it just after this analog pedal, I've been building this pedal in Music Dink, which is a German factory where you can build your own pedals. You just have the piece, a PCB, and you just have to solder it yourself. I have a point here of auto oscillation. Sorry, it's just behind my my desk. But so if I do it, I get this, which I like, and I can filter it. And then back to normal once I put the feedback. I have a little line where the feedbacks it goes in auto oscillation. So that's very interesting because I can just bring the delay on just one note on the melody with my feet, and I love it. Because we already have a lot of resonance with the harp, and it's good to just be able to say, okay, that's too much, and with the feet it's easier to control that amount of delay repetition. Then after that, so the low pass, actually I have a high pass for the pedal section, all the fuzz and drive. So that's the low pass. And it's just for what I show you. It's good if I want to darker a little bit the repetition without going in the sub menu. I know where it is, and I can just have a delay which is more discrete. Then after that, I have the Future Factory delay. And what is good with this one is you have two delays that you can control totally independently. I can have one side at 60 BPM, the other one at 62 or whatever I want, or 120. I can have subdivision different, dotted 8, whole note, whatever. And it's totally, it accepts the MIDI clock. And that for me it's really important because I'm using the Polypulse Groove Machine, which is the master clock, and I can have a delay which is synced to the tempo. And that's for this reason it's after the analog delay, because this way I get the repetition which are not synced with the tempo, but it finally goes into that and it finally goes synced. I show you. So here my tap tempo, I have a tap tempo button, for example this one, which is a 104 BPM. So my and the other one is here. It's not the same tempo, but if I put two of them, it goes funny. And I like it also because you have the volume accessible and the feedback. Two big buttons here. For the moment I'm not using, when I will build my own composition, I will really take care of the subdivision, and you have a total EQ here. You can decide to have repetition low, mid, to put the lows in front, or just to take them off, and it's really cool. So I really like this pedal, and this pedal then goes straight into a DI box in stereo. So my octave goes in one DI box mono, so I have everything split. This way, if I want to mix after that, I can do whatever I want. I have the sub in one side, the delay on the other side. And then, so we will go back from the split, spliff, 14 spliff, another signal that goes into the super ego. And the super ego is a sound retainer, like the freeze. It's a augmented freeze. And I use it for freezing, sure, but not only for freeze. I will show you why. For example, I can freeze a note. Here we are. And this note, I can use it. I have 2 reverb after that. And I can decide how much dry signal I put. So this button is very helpful for me because I can decide to take off the nap just to let my dry signal or just to let my my sound retain the signal. It's always on because if I switch it off, all my dry signal goes in the rest and it's not what I'm looking for. So the first thing I have is a reverb, convolution reverb. And it's a 2 convolution reverb from Tasty Chips. It's a Tasty Chips integral. It's my last acquisition, so I'm still not very familiar with it, but which is very cool is I've been loading some of the Bricasti, the very famous reverb IR, and I've put some of them into it. So if I just have to A reverb, so you have 2 sections. The A reverb is the left button and the B reverb is the B button. And you have an X fade. That means you can blend in between, for example, a plate and a cathedral. So if I goes on the A button, what do I have? I have Halls from Amsterdam, and the B button, what is it? It's St. Gerold, it's a hall. So let's go for another one. For example, North Church. Yes. I go out, and then you can go from this reverb to this one. Sorry, it's it's too much dry signal. The only problem is the saturation. I need to find the right balance. For me, 9 o'clock is good for having no saturation with a full wet on the pedal. It's quite close, these 2 ones. So what I'm gonna do is the second one, I will just move the position. That means the reverb will start after the attack. Oops, sorry. So I don't have like the brightness of the first reflection. I'm just having the reverb but without the attack, with the transients, and that's great. So that's. Let's get rid of the octave without, with. Now let's try the first one, same playing. Let's move a little more the B start, so position. It's really interesting, but it's really subtle and it really needs practice and find the right change. And it's also MIDI controllable, but I haven't started with the TRS cable going from my main brain, which is a Morningstar MC6. And this Morningstar, I control lots of things, but I also want to control this one using preset, but it's still brand new for me. So that's my like real reverb. Then I have the cloudburst reverb. Okay. This cloudburst is very interesting because you have like, with the harp, it gives this impression of having a cello. If you put it on the mezzo piano, it's like horns and double bass. And if I use the tone very low, or I can use the tone very high to have this. beautiful. And what I can do also is get rid of the dry signal and just use the effect. And then I have like a scale to improv. Yeah, the first note for improvising. I can make it louder with forte position, more modulation. I get rid of the effect. I like to keep a little dry because this way I use also I have a reverb. If not, I don't have a reverb. Then I get, it's really cool if you have improvisation on the scale. Like to have this, and always can come back. I can finish to play a section and then bring slowly my frozen note, which I can change. I can also change the chord. Oh, sorry, I forgot to get, for example, and then so I love this tool for that. The cloudburst is an amazing reverb if I'm not using also the string and horn section. It's more direct than with this one, because this one, as I said, is just out of the box. I just need to get used to it. So that's my reverb and sound retaining section, delay, bass, and then you have another one that goes into the drive section, drive and modulation. The first thing I do is use a high pass. Why? Because the harp, I will get rid of the reverb. My harp, you get so much trouble if you have the bass in the sound. I love the sound. So my Morning Star, for example, has a preset, fat fuzz. If I play the fat fuzz, that's a reverb at the end. And if I take, just the fuzz with nothing. If I put the high pass, you clean everything. Listen. And it's cutting very high. I'm at 400 Hertz. I'm getting rid of 20 dBs scale reduction. At 400, you have this curve, which is a lot. But for the harp, if you don't get rid of the low frequencies, it's a mess. It's nice if it's on its own, but very quickly it's dirty. For example, this other preset which is broken, like the very old vintage fuzz. I love it. If I get rid of the high frequency, it's less bright and it's less punchy. Now, because we are starting with this first section, I will get rid of my boost and you will listen the difference. And you have the sound that I hated for years, and I was always saying drive doesn't work on harp. Yes, it does, but you need to really push it very strongly if you want it to behave properly. And so, with the Shushen, without, it's like a harp with a bad sound, and here it's a real fuzz. So my chain is, it goes out of the boost, it goes into the high frequency, so the low cut, high pass. It goes into this one, which is a fuzz with MIDI preset, and I've done some preset here. You can really go to a crazy fuzz, like grunge, with ring modulator. Total broken. Okay, here you have my preset. For now, it's gonna be changing. It's very easy to control. So what I've done is to just send a PC message. Then I was tweaking, then back and putting a word like a name to remember. You just have to push 2 seconds. It's in memory. It's really easy. And you have that. If I just want to change the volume of this one, for example, I change the volume. It's blinking pink until I have reached the mark where it was before, the point where it was before, and then I can change the value. It's on some other pedal, it's really the same, but it's really good pedal. And then I push 2 seconds, and that's it. It's in the box. It's PC3, for example, program change, whatever. So then I have the Carnum Ellipse, and the thing with modulation, it's a brand new pedal. The thing with modulation is it's hard on the harp because you have too much resonance. So you really have to push it strong in the mix, like 100% to get something. If I get rid of the boost, it doesn't work well. So let's try, for example, this preset. Phaser. Nothing. No mix 50%. And then for the speed, I've asked my Morningstar to attribute this fader to the speed. So I can change the fader here. 100% mix. The only bad thing is because of my boost, and I need this amount of boost, I get a noise, and if I only use the modulation, I can hear the noise, and it's a shame, but for the moment I can't have everything. It's only a harp, it's not a guitar. Then for example, let's try a chorus. It's a lovely chorus, some death. So it's all analog pedal controlled by MIDI. And if I put the fuzz and modulation, it's totally different. Then I can change the depth, for example, because if I do a preset with a drive, it totally changes the pedal after. Okay, so to remind you, the signal change: boost, splitter, high pass, a fuzz. I'm gonna have a drive in a few weeks, but another drive, but now it's fuzz. Modulation, then it goes back to the feet, it goes on a whammy, and back to a reverb, which is a spring reverb built from Music Dink. I did it myself. Why did I do that? Because if I take off my volume pedal, the sound straight disappear so quickly, for example. And I feel something is missing, particularly if I'm playing. I bring the fuzz. something's missing. So I bring the reverb and I put a very long decay and mix, and then I have this. Helps to have the feeling that you have two instruments, one which has a very long tail and the other one which is so close, so you have this different spaces. That's what I was looking for years. And then the whammy, and the whammy is really helpful to do what you do on the guitar with a bend. I can show you here. And I bring the bass back. I think I give you all my secret. It's moving every time, it's changing all the time, but I think I've been reaching this kind of statu quo. I have now my bass, a new bass. I've put, just for the fun, main of my Pedalboard sheets on internet, where you can see that I'm actually on the Pedalboard number 23. All of that is on my website, tripharp.com, trip, like trip hop, tripharp.com. And you can see my pedal, my gear, the gear I use, and some of the videos I'm doing with the polypulse from Lambda Synthetics. So here I am. I'm very happy to have done this, and I really look forward to have your feedback. It's still something that goes in movement. I'm still looking for something better every time until the end. And I really hope that you had some fun with it, and that will help you for your harp pedalboard or something else like a guitar pedalboard or whatever you want. Thank you for listening so far, and have a good day.